أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. There's no God but you. Glory be unto you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Ameen. Mariam and Rayan, whenever you're ready, please begin with the 12th hope. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start reading now. One time I was being held in the district of Barla in the province of Isparta in a distressing captivity called exile. In a truly wretched state, suffering both illness and old age and absence from home, and in a village alone with no one, barred from all company and communication. Then, in His perfect mercy, Almighty God bestowed a light on me concerning the subtle points and mysteries of the all-wise Quran, which was a source of consolation for me. With it, I tried to forget my pitiful, sad state. I was able to forget my native land, my friends, and relations. But Allah's, there was one person I could not forget, and that was Abdul Rahman, who was both my nephew and my spiritual son, and my most devoted student and my bravest friend. He had parted from me 6 or 7 years previously. Now that he knew where I was, so that he could hasten to help and console me. Nor did I know his situation, so that I could correspond with him and we could confide in each other. Now in my old age, I was in need of someone loyal and self-sacrificing like him.
Then, out of the blue, someone gave me a letter. I opened it and saw it was from Abdul Rahman, in a way which showed his true self. A part of it that clearly shows 3 instances of wonder working has been included among the pieces of 27th letter. It made me weep, and it still makes me weep. The late Abdul Rahman wrote in the letter seriously and sincerely that he was and that his greatest desire to reach me and look when he was young. My true duty in this world. He even wrote in his letter, send me 20 or 30 treatises and I'll write treaties and I'll write out 20 or 30 copies of each and get others to write them.
His letter made me feel very hopeful in respect of the world. With the thought that I had found a bold student who was so intelligent as to be a genius and would assist me more loyally and with greater attachment than a true son, I forgot my torturous captivity, loneliness, exile, and old age. He had obtained a copy of the 10th word about belief in the hereafter before writing the letter. It was as if it had been a remedy for him curing all the spiritual wounds he had received during those 6 or 7 years. He then wrote the letter to me as if he was awaiting his death with a truly strong and shining belief. Then 1 or 2 months later, while thinking of once again passing a happy worldly life together with Abdurrahman, I received news of his death. I was so shaken that 5 years later I am still under its effect. It afflicted me with a grief, sorrow, and sense of separation far exceeding the torturous captivity, aloneness, exile, old age, and illness I was then suffering. Half of my private world had died with the death of my mother, and now with Abdurrahman's death, the other half died. My ties with the world were now completely cut. For if he had lived, he could have been both a powerful help in my duties, which looked to the hereafter, and a worthy successor to fill my place completely after me, and a most self-sacrificing friend and consolation. He would have been my cleverest student and companion, and the most trustworthy protector and owner of the risale-i.
Yes, in regard to humanity, such losses are extremely distressing and painful for people like me. It's true, outwardly I was trying to endure it, but a fierce storm was raging in my spirit. If from time to time solace proceeding from the Quran's light had not wandered around me, had not consoled me, I would have been able to endure. At the time, I used to wander alone in the mountains and valleys of Barla, sitting in lonely places amid my sorrows, pictures of the happy life I had spent in former times with my loyal students like Abdurrahman passed through my imagination like the cinema. Since, due to old age and exile, I was swiftly affected, they broke my resistance. Suddenly, the sacred meaning of the verse, everything shall perish save his countenance. His is the command, and to him shall you return, was unfolded to me. It caused me to
It caused me to declare, O Eternal One, you alone are eternal. O Eternal One, you alone are eternal, and truly consoled me. Then, inspired by this verse's meaning as is described in the treatise, the highway of the practices of the Prophet, peace be upon him, I saw myself while in that lonely valley in sad state, at the head of three vast corpses. One was a sight of myself as a gravestone on the grave of the 55 dead saids of my 55 years who had been buried in the course of my life. The second corpse was the vast corpse of all my fellow men who had died since the time of Adam and had been buried in the grave of the past. I saw myself as a minuscule ant-like living creature at the head of that corpse, wandering over the face of this century, which was like its gravestone. The third corpse was the greater world, which, like the human beings and the traveling worlds which every year die, would so, in accordance with the above verse, die. This was embodied before my imagination. Then the verse, but if they turn away, say, God suffices me, there is no God but He. In Him do I place my trust, He the sustainer of the throne of glory supreme. Illuminated with its true solace and inextinguishable light, that awesome vision arising from my grief at Abdurrahman's death, it came to my assistance with its elusive meaning, which states, since Almighty God exists, He takes the place of everything. Since He is eternal, He is surely sufficient. A single manifestation of His grace takes the place of the whole world. One manifestation of His light infuses with life the three vast corpses mentioned above, showing that they are not corpses, but having completed their duties, have departed for other worlds. This mystery has been explained in the third flash, so that sufficing with the above, here I only say that the two repetitions of the phrase,
O Eternal One, you alone are eternal. O Eternal One, you alone are eternal, which illustrates the meaning of everything shall perish, save his countenance to the end of the verse. Save me from that distressing and sad state. It was like this. The first time I uttered, O Eternal One, you alone are eternal. It began to cure me like a surgical operation on the endless spiritual wounds arising from the passing of the world and of the friends in this world to whom I was attached, and from the ties binding me being broken.
The second time the phrase "O Eternal One, you alone are eternal" was both a salve and an antidote for all those innumerable wounds. That is to say, you are eternal. If the rest depart, let them. You are enough for me, since you abide forever. A single manifestation of your mercy is sufficient in place of all transient things. Since you exist, everything exists for the person who knows at the connection with your existence established through belief, and Islam acts in accordance with that relation. Transience and decline, death and non-existence are a veil, a renewal like traveling through different domains. Thinking this, my painful, sad, grievous, dark, awesome, separation-stained state of mind was transformed into a happy, joyful, pleasurable, luminous, lovable, familiar state. My tongue and heart, indeed, all the particles of my being, through the tongue of disposition, dis- disposition, exclaimed, "All praise be to God."
One 1,000th of that manifestation of mercy is this. I returned to Barla from that sorrowful valley and the melancholy state of mind where I saw that a young man called Kilion Mustafa had come to ask me some questions about the 5 daily prayers and ablutions. Although I did not accept visitors at that hour, my spirit perceived as though with foresight has his sincerity of spirit and the future valuable services he would perform for the risale-i, and I did not turn him away. I accepted him. It later became clear that Almighty God sent Mustafa to me as a sample in place of Abdul Rahman, who, as a worthy successor, would carry out completely the duty of a true heir in the work of the Risale-i, as though saying, I took one of the Rahman from you, but I shall give you 30 like the Mustafa you see in return, who will be both students and nephews, and spiritual sons and brothers, and self-sacrificing comrades in this duty for religion. Yes, praise be to God, he gave me 30 of the Rahman. So I told myself, oh, weeping heart, since you have seen this sample, and through him he has healed the most serious of your spiritual wounds. Be assured that he will heal all the rest of them. My elderly brothers and sisters who, like me, have lost at the time of their old age a child or relative they love dearly, and who have to bear the searing sorrows of separation together with the burdens of old age. You have understood from my situation that although it was much harsher than yours, it was cured and healed by a verse of the Quran. This being so, there are remedies in that sacred pharmacy to heal all your difficulties. If you have recourse to it through belief and make use of those remedies, through worship, the heavy burdens of your old age and your sorrows will be uh, alleviated considerably.
The reason for writing this long piece was to seek more prayers for the Rahman, not to weary you. Also, my purpose is in showing my worst wound in an extremely grievous and unpleasant way, which may upset you unduly and put you off is to demonstrate what a wondrous remedy and brilliant light in the sacred antidote of the all-wise Quran.
And that is the end to the 12th Hope. Thank you, Rayan and Mariam. We are very excited to have your company today. Um, Thank you both for reading this long text patiently. Um, okay, so we can ahead. I'm going both of you that you took away from reading this, or you can share out your your whatever. You must be having some feelings or expressions reading this, so it can be a couple of sentences, or go ahead. I see your hand.
So what I think, when I was on page 311, I saw that it said that when the old guy, he said when he was exiled after he heard of their mom's death, he was saying, "Oh, Eternal One," and then that gave him power, and that was like an antidote to him, and like that's like something. It's just like the phrase saying Bismillah that helps you in everything. You should say it all the time.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're right. So we, in our journey here, we have friends, companions, family, loved ones that we interact with. And obviously, people come and go. And if we end up attaching ourselves to, like, I mean, we love people, like people we hang out with, our family and friends, but we're all departing, we're all changing, subject to change, and definitely losing loved ones. A loved one is a sorrowful state. It's it puts one in a sad position, and so one by one things just depart. And like you were saying, Maria, that the heart gets pained by losing or by each passing moment, or losing a loved one, or anything that we interact with. So what can be an antidote? I'm going to use your wordings, or something that can help me with this human dilemma that I find myself in. Yes, I love existence. I love life. I love whatever's given to me. I love my family. I love my friends, school, teachers, the universe, the sky, the stars, the trees, and so on and so forth. I can keep going on, listing out everything in creation that we interact with. But then at the same time, things depart. Like the sun is shining right now, and I know based on my previous experience that it will set soon in a couple of hours. And I love daytime, I love the sun, but I know it's gonna leave me. So is it really my object of worship? Is it really something I can totally be friend with? Something to think about. I think it's very obvious that it goes, and then I uh, go to sleep, as well as in experiencing a little mini death until I'm given uh, a new existence uh, in the morning. I'm not even sure if I will be given existence again, but that's how the system is set up. That's how the universe is set up. And so, like you said, that what helped this old man sharing his reflections, which is really human reflections. We're all aging. We may all become old one day. I was looking at my high school pictures from before. I'm like, whoa, what happened to me? So yeah, this is applying to all of us, we are at different stage and age in our existence. And so what can provide us true solace? And so the old man, or really my human spirit, yearns for, oh eternal one, you alone are eternal. And I'm just going to pause here right now, really understanding what does eternal one means. Really, I'm a little mesmerized right now, and yeah, I'm wondering, what does it mean to have an eternal one, or like really the author expressing, a human spirit expressing, oh eternal one, you alone are eternal. um so yeah, feel free to share out your thoughts or comments on this. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to say something. Ali Murmur, go ahead please.
When I see that young generation as giving us fresh blood, I really get excited, mashallah. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that Mariam and Ryan are taking up the responsibility of reading and sharing their feelings and understandings. So I always prefer to talk to young people because I lost my youth. I'm very sorry for it. I cannot get it back, but speaking to Mariam and Ryan, I will taste my youth again. Who is going to ask, who's going to answer my very, very difficult questions? You know, that must be very easy, isn't it? You know, Mariam and Ryan, who would like to answer my questions? So keep your mic open.
Yeah, this is Mariam. I think I'll answer the question this time.
Okay, no. Well, I know, but that's a rhetoric question. Do you have mother? Do you have your mother living here
Yes.
with you?
Yes.
Okay. Like, do you make any money to get your, for example, clothing or sheltering, food? Do you get it yourself?
No. My
Do you
parents
work
help
for
me.
them? Do you work? Your worker. Do you work for them?
No.
No. So I'm sure you have something in your kitchen to take care of your needs for tomorrow. Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, good. And how about 1 month later? Do you have enough stock, which is enough 1 month later for your food and everything in the
I don't
house?
think so. I
Sorry?
don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, that's expected, of course. You are not going to bring all the store into your house. That's expected. But can I ask you a question? Are you worrying that you don't have enough food in the kitchen for next month?
No.
Why? But there is no food.
Because I know it'll be given somehow.
You will get somehow.
No, you will get somehow, but what is somehow? Do you think somebody else will take care of you?
Um,
Here, in your house.
like going for groceries, like going to
So
the
for
grocery store.
example, yeah, who's buying them for you?
My parents.
Okay, now you trust your mom that she will prepare, or your father, your daddy, that he will buy the things. Your mom is going to cook it and prepare it for you, and that's why you don't worry. Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So when you say, today I am okay, but as far as your power, your work, your ability to make your living is concerned, you don't trust yourself. You trust your parents in this world, that they will take care of you. Correct?
Yes.
So if you attach yourself, if you attach yourself and your need with your parents, to your parents, you don't worry about next month. That's when I was in your age, I used to do the same thing. I wouldn't worry about my old age, young age, because my parents were taking care of me. So as long as I am sure that my parents are going to live next month, I mean, it is not guaranteed, definitely, but hoping that they are going to live next month. If you are aware of this, if you don't forget this, so you say, I'm not worrying about next month, so I will just trust my parents that they will take care of me. Yeah, but it is not 100% sure, but most probably that's what we hope in these conditions of the world. So I don't think you worry about your next month food, because you know that your parents will take care of it, because you are aware of your parents and their intention, their relationship with you. Is that correct, what I have been talking about? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, now there is a very difficult sentence here. I read in page 311, halfway through, but further than halfway. Now let's if host helps us to post the text on the screen, we can follow from the screen altogether.
Oh, I'm sorry, it got disconnected, so I
So,
didn't realize.
yeah,
Thank
now
you for letting me know.
now can you?
Done. Yes.
Done. Okay, it's page 311, which starts with the second time the phrase, O eternal one, you alone are eternal. Whatever, you are eternal. If the rest depart, let them come down. If the rest down, sorry, where is that? Yeah. Okay, that's where I was reading it. If the rest depart.
Here. Oh, eternal. Right here.
Yeah.
If the rest depart, let them. You are enough for me.
As if I'm blind now. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. If the rest, you.
They are showing on YouTube.
I see. The second time. It's to say you are enough. Yeah. I found it. Thank you very much. If the rest depart, let them. It means let them leave me alone. I don't care. You are enough for me. Now, did you get the simple example, everybody, but especially since Maryam is answering my question, did you understand that even if there is no food, I don't care, as long as my parents
Is around.
are around and taking care of me, right? So as much as we trust, in the example, let's stay in the example, as much as I trust my parents or Miriam's parents, my parents died, passed away, so rahmahumullah. So I have to speak in terms of Miriam's case now. As long as your parents are alive and they can manage to buy and cook and prepare the food, whether today's food is gone, I don't care. Is it clear? So not the food, not the need, not the things that we hold is the point of interest for us, but the source of it, where it is coming from. This is just an example, Maria. You wrote something, but that's what I was laughing. Yeah, you know, you can say, "Oh, my parents died, but I can go to my uncle's house or my auntie's house." This is not this. This is just an example. So you know that as long as, for example, you are living in a place that you got used to, that the spring is coming continuously, all the 4 seasons. So today the water runs in the stream or in the river, but if you are sure that the source, the spring where this river comes from, is permanently running, do you worry that the water passed now in front of your house? But if you are sure that the spring, the source, is running continuously. So what this verse says is very interesting. It says, if the rest depart, let them so. You are enough for me. The source is important, not what I observed, what I obtained from the source is important. But the source is important. If the source is permanent, if the source is eternal, then whatever I receive from it now, how much I receive from it after I acknowledge that the source is eternal, through observing the river running. My father has been taking care of me for 8, 9, 10 years. I say, okay, I am guaranteed. Not because you have food today that you are guaranteed. But what is important? The future is important. I got it now. Okay, but how about tomorrow? Of course, we always question the reality of death. Now, I am enjoying my life. I am enjoying everything which is given to me now. But I know life and everything which is given to me is going to pass away, as they are passing daily now, but at the end, when I die, that is, they are gone. Now, why we people worry about death? Because we think that the food in my kitchen is going to finish at the end of the month, and because I don't trust any source that it brings continuously, let's say you don't trust your father, your parents. So what you do, you start worrying. It is inevitable. I start worrying. It is inevitable. So let's see if we have this understanding that whatever is given to me now is coming from an eternal source. That is the important. So if I feel that the source of this world is a one who is eternal, because everything he gives me is daily, transient. For example, every day your mom or my mom cooks every day, but that day finishes. Whatever is cooked, we eat when we finish it. But I know that my father every day, my mother and my father brings every day, my mother cooks every day. So I feel secure for my tomorrow. They will do the same thing because they are always doing this. This word is, that is my problem from last week, because we read this text last week, but we couldn't really concentrate on the content of the week and interesting, important points to discuss on it. So we said, I said, let me start this. There is a strange word. Can you please mark, since you exist, everything exists. Yeah. Yes, since you exist, everything exists. It looks like a motto, yeah, like a slogan. What does it mean? Since you exist, everything exists. Come on. But if everything exists,
We don't hear you, Murmur.
H,
Sorry, Ali, remember you got disconnected, but you were saying something about since you exist, everything exists. You were
my
left.
internet connection is very weak, so I'm sorry.
Mine.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Since everything exists, sorry, since you exist, everything exists. But what I am experiencing in this world, the things exist. I experience them. Yes, because I am using them. But why everything is exists? As if Maryam or Ryan is saying that since my father, my mother are alive, yeah, so everything that I need for my food, my feeding, guaranteed. Why? You know that they are the source. Example in this world. If you are sure that, so how are we going to make sure that if the source exists, everything else, whatever it happens to them, even they pass away, doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, guaranteed. Yeah, whatever I need is guaranteed. For example, I am alive now, and that's why we are here talking together. We are alive. It means we are given life. We are not dead bodies. Yeah, whatever it is, we are not talking about what life is. But no one knows, by the way. So what really the essence of life is, so there is no need to talk about it. So, but I am alive. That's what we commonly use this language. I am alive now. I'm not dead, it means. Okay, that's the definition that we describe it. I am not dead. Okay, I'm alive. So what is my duty now? To question, to seek for the source of life. How did I get it? Did I, Maryam, Now, there's a very hard question for you now. Did you make yourself alive, Maryam or Raya?
I did not make myself alive.
Say it again, a bit, get closer to the mic and say it again.
I did not make myself alive.
Oh, where did you get it? Do you think your father bought it from the market or from stores?
No,
Um,
it was given to me.
No, it was given to you. So, what do you think gave you? Is there any source that you get life here? Is there any mountain or ocean or somewhere that we get we mine we get out of this from the mountain or somewhere?
No, I got it from the creator
Creator of what?
of the universe.
Well, I see. We are given existence as well as life, in addition to our physical, biological existence. Correct?
Yes.
It's very easy, isn't it? It's not a difficult question. We can understand that somebody has given me, has given my life to me. That's why I am alive. No one can make life, right? So even my cells are alive, aren't they? My cells of my body,
Yes.
are
They are
they
alive.
are you do they teach you, are they teaching you that the cells are growing, multi, dividing into another 2 cells, 4 cells? Have you been taught this yet?
Cells.
No, okay. You will be taught that the cells are uh, dividing by themselves, they will say, because they are alive, but they never question where did they get the life. But you will notice when you grow to the higher classes, uh, then you will say, okay, very good. They are dividing themselves, and where did they get this life? Where did they get this quality, power to divide themselves? Huh? What is the source of it? So when you question the source of your life, and you question the source of the life of your cells as well. Well, you are a bright young girl, so you will question all this. So you will say, where did they come from? Come on, the life. So we understand that whoever, that's what you said, and I agree with you, whoever gave existence to to this universe, he must be the one who gave existence to me, to my cells, and everything. So, do you think the universe is continuously changing?
Yes, I think that. Yes.
No, for example, a couple of weeks ago, it was winter. Now we see the signs of spring changing. Not the trees started flowering and smiling at us and bringing good news that, hey, we are prepared for you now to grow fruit and vegetables, whatever. Yep. So we are changing. But the one who is giving existence, is he changing as well? Do you think he can be changing like this universe?
Yes.
the one who created the universe, is he himself is getting older and older every year? Do you think? As I am getting older, I cannot see better, I cannot hear. I really find very hard to hear and understand clearly because I don't hear. But is there any sign that the universe is given existence by a one who is getting older and older and older, so weaker and weaker? He's not doing the job properly anymore. Do you see that?
No.
So
I see that. That outside it's changing. So the universe is changing, but I don't see that the creator is changing.
but don't you understand that in order to be able to create the universe, control the universe altogether, billions of galaxies, and everything in it perfectly, and never gets old and weaker, never gets worse and worse and worse. No, perfect, always the perfect. So the source must be permanent. The creator must be permanent. Do you think it makes sense to you?
Yes, it does make sense.
No, the creator of the universe must be permanent. Permanent means not changing.
Yes.
If something is unchanging, it must be eternal. Don't you think it makes sense or not?
I do think it makes sense.
So, if the source is eternal, what we understand from my life, that my life is getting older and older, and when time comes for me very soon, for you not that soon, but it will come, don't worry, I will die. Now, I lost my dinner today. I ate my dinner and dinner finished. How about tomorrow? You say, okay, my father brings it. Why should I bother? He has been bringing it. And as long as he is alive, because it's an example, as long as he is alive, he always takes care of me. I don't worry about tomorrow. He will bring it. My mother will cook it and prepare it for me. And they will beg me, come on, Miriam, come on, eat. You know, nowadays, we used to beg our mothers. Miriam, I don't know whether it is the case in your house. We used to wait our beg our mothers. When are we going to have the dinner? I'm hungry. She used to say, look, your father will come. This is real. And he will bring something and I will cook and then the dinner will be ready. You see, but nowadays, the kitchens are full. Fridges are not big enough to contain what we have. And mother and father are begging their children, come on, food is ready. I cooked this, that, and at the end, I will give you the cake, but if you have to have your dinner. What a life. We did not have one day like this when I was in your age. That was real. That is real, Maria. You have to be thankful to God. So we were begging, waiting for mother, and father used to come very late sometimes because there's nothing to cook at home. So he will bring fruit, vegetables, and the mother will cook quickly. It was wonderful.
Not only Mariam, we also.
So we are spoiled, Maria. That is why we don't think of the source. But where did I get? I was hungry, suffering, dying of hunger, and starving. But Suddenly father came and food came. We don't really look forward to the source. So, for example, now, I don't see where my body came from. I don't think where my life came from. I don't think about it because I am so much spoiled that every day I go to bed, sleep, wake up, here is my life again. I never think what is the source of it. So if we stop and think that since there is no one and nothing in the universe that can give me, provide me with my life, so there must be a source. This source can only be the one who created the universe. So he is, if he is eternal, then I have to trust him, never worry about my tomorrow's dinner, my life after death. What this sentence says, this magical sentence says, since you exist, everything exists. It means since my life exists, life, the universe, everything exists because I have seen. Now come back to the verse now. What the verse says on page 310? These are very, very crucial teachings of the Quran. 310. 310, the verse. Host, you are taking care of it?
Yeah, I'm also experiencing weak connection, but
Okay. You were patient with me, so am I patient with you. Don't worry. Okay, we done it. The verse says everything shall perish, save his countenance. What does it mean?
Face.
Did you get? Oh, yeah, it is ready now. Everybody can see it now. Everything shall perish shall perish, save, except his countenance. What does it mean? Now, Maryam or Ryan, it is dinner time now. Let's assume, of course, it is just an assumption. It is dinner time now. You have your dinner at the table ready. Okay, imagine this. Can you? You are ready to have your dinner, right, Maryam?
Yes.
Okay, it's beautiful now. You know that in half an hour, you will eat the dinner and it will perish. You know what does perish mean?
Yes.
Well,
It means
it will be gone, right? Destroy. And it will be gone, isn't it? William? Is it okay? But you understand that it will be gone after you eat it? Yeah? Maria? Maria? You know that it will go, it will be gone, it will perish when you eat it.
yes.
Okay. All right. Yes. Now, but the presence of the food at the table demonstrates that your father and your mother take care of you. Okay? When you found the food ready, it means somebody took care of it. Correct?
Correct.
So when you look at the food, although you are sure that it will perish after you eat it, but at the same time, the readiness of the food reminds you demonstrates that your parents are taking care of you. Right?
Yes.
When you realize this, do you get worried that when you eat the food, it will finish and you will be hungry forever? Or
No.
from the presence of the food, that is very important. From the presence of the food, you understand that the food demonstrates that the presence of the food, or the fact that the food is ready on the table, demonstrates that your parents take care of you. You understand. That's what save his countenance mean. His means the creator's presentation, that he takes care of you. Do you understand this analogy?
Yes.
So the presence of the, I'm repeating this, is so essential. The presence of the food guarantees that your parents will take care of you tomorrow as well. Okay? Understood this much?
Yes.
Okay, let's go a step ahead. If your parents are eternal, of course they are not. If they were eternal, will you worry about your food in 20 years' time? The source is eternal. Will you worry? Sorry?
No. No, I wouldn't worry.
So now, countenance means, do you understand countenance?
No.
No. Okay, let's ask Hamim or Feriha or anybody else. Anybody else who will explain us what countenance means here? Now, okay.
Go ahead, Austin. Go
Asim,
ahead,
go
please.
ahead. Go ahead, Asim.
Sure, yeah. So from what I understand, the the manifestation, basically whatever I'm being presented in right now, as you
Hmm.
said about the qualities, or that somebody is giving me things. So the quality of giving is there. Something is tasty, the quality of taste, the quality of beauty is there. So the demonstration that I experience, that things, that continuous change in the universe, which shows the activity, the action is continuous. So I realized that that activity where I experience, which I'm experiencing, where I am enjoying, I'm, getting excited, like the weather is changing, as was said, with the flowers smiling at me. So that thing is continuous. So that is what is always staying. That's the presence of whoever is demonstrating or showing or making you experience that stays there. So I would say manifestation, or the demonstration or presence, is how I would say countenance. That's how I understood it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Asim. Now, it helps me, but I feel that Maryam needs more concrete, palpable example. What does it mean? Maryam, let's talk together for the moment now. When you are at the table, dinner is ready, at the table, when you look at the dinner, you see that the physical body of the dinner is there, correct?
Yes.
You see the food, okay. But the physical body of the dinner reminds you that it is prepared by your parents. do you see this reminding on the food at the table? Do you understand that when you look at the food, you see the body of the food, physical body of the food, but at the same time, it comes to your mind that my parents are taking care of me. Okay? Maryam, do you get this?
Yes.
So look, food has two aspects. Countenance, another word for countenance means aspects, right? Aspects. Sometimes you say it has two sphere, feature, face, this kind of language you can use. Countenance is a difficult language. I understand that. But let's use aspect. One aspect of the food tells you, I am going to feed you now, and as soon as you eat me, I will perish. One aspect of the food. The other aspect which reminds you, again, the same food reminds you, your parents are taking care of you. And you say, thank you, mom. Yeah? Do you say thank you, mom?
Yes.
Okay, now what happens? It's interesting. You thank mom, but you don't thank food. Although food is feeding you now. Why did you say thank you, mom?
Because she was the one who also who used who used the ingredients to make the food.
So I understand that from what you said. I understand that it means the food itself reminds you that your mother is kind and caring parent, right?
Yes.
At the same time, the food also reminds you that it is going to feed you now, but disappear. Also, it says, I'm going to disappear. Maryam, don't trust me. I can feed you only once, not twice. Correct?
Yes.
So can we say that food has three, at least three now, aspects? One which says, I am going to feed you. The other aspect says, but I am going to perish as soon as you eat me. The other third aspect says, my mother is taking care of me. She is a kind woman, kind mom. You see, the same thing has many aspects. One aspect of your life and the world, the universe, everything says, I am here. The other aspect says, but I am going to disappear next year or 10 years later. So don't trust me. The other aspect of the same thing tells me, but I am given existence by an eternal one, eternal creator. Do you see the aspects now? Do you understand aspects of the things? Although there is
Yes.
one thing, but they convey to me different meanings. Yeah?
Yes.
So today, when you are having your dinner, I don't know, in your world, what time is it now?
It is 3:10.
Sorry?
It is 3:10.
3:10? Or are you on the Not east, but middle, huh? Well, which state are you now? Your state?
I'm in Texas.
Texas, I see. Okay, you are in Texas now. So you didn't have your dinner. That's what I wanted to make sure for a real experience. Today, when you are asked to come to the dinner, so go to the table and tell your mom or daddy, look, this food has many meanings telling me, many aspects telling me, or you can be also an intellectual lady saying that this food has many countenances. One is
So I don't hear. Is it
very
just
old
me?
man. Do you know that? I am a very old man. So I say, oh, well, the graveyard is next to me now, next door neighbor. So I don't say, okay, all right. My life says now to me, yeah, I am keeping you alive. Yep, it is I am here in your being. Okay, good. I am experiencing it. But since I am aging, but I'm sorry, I will go away. I cannot take care of you more than what I can do now. But the other one says, but why don't you think of the source of my existence? Now there are some people dying today, and there are some people are born today. Life, some people are dying that need fresh life is still provided. Wow. It means whoever is creating life is continuously creating life. It's eternal, creating the universe. It is eternal. So if you see this aspect of the world, this aspect of the food, this aspect of life, you will say, everything shall perish except Creator's countenance. It means he will be ever present, giving life. He is the eternal source of life. Wow, that's what the verse is saying. But the only thing is, I have to be careful how to read, how to understand, how to think about the present existence. My body, my life, the world, the sun, the moon, the night, and my hunger. Everything is created by the same one, and everything demonstrates that he is the eternal one, and says, as long as the eternal creator exists, I don't care about the other, because source is eternal. My source is eternal. Why should I bother about death? So I have no fear of death. Why? Do you think I am not going to die? Yeah, definitely. I don't care. But my source of life is eternal. My creator is eternal. So he is always providing life. Some of them, sometimes in the form of a baby, sometimes in the form of a toddler, sometimes a young boy or girl, and sometimes middle-aged, sometimes as old as I am. But life is given, provided by a source who is not changing, who is not perishable. If a person thinks of this world, that this world has a source which is not perishable, which is eternal, continues to renewing the creation and saying that, look, universe gets older, but I never get older. Yeah. Universe changes, but I never change. I'm always absolute. I'm always eternal. So calling human beings, hey, try to see me and trust me. Try to see me and trust me. If you see and understand that I am eternal, why bother about anything? I'm guaranteeing everything to you. Right? So if a person believes and understands and confirms, says, the one who created me is eternal, no worry, no pain, no stress this person can experience. Comfortable, because source is eternal. Maryam, do you agree with me with this conclusion?
Yes.
I didn't hear you.
She said yes.
Yes, I did.
How about Ryan? Ryan, is he with you?
No.
Okay, okay. So you can ask him. You can ask your parents. Look, I don't worry about anything because my creator is eternal. What are you talking about? Yeah? So you can be proud. You can be really secure person in your life. You don't say, what will happen to me? What will happen to me? Come on, your source is eternal. He will take care of you. Don't worry about anything. But take care of yourself. That's something else. Yep, I am done. Would you like anybody to add anything? I am done. I think, Maryam, would you like to ask any question?
No, I think I'm fine.
Okay, now the host. Thank you for a long, painful discussion.
Thank you, Mariam and Ali Marmur, for the exchange of dialogue. Mariam and Ryan, can you please unmute yourself? Mute yourself. Your microphone is open and it's causing echo. Thank you. Yeah, interesting points to ponder over. And I know I see something written by Muhammad Said on the chat box. Muhammad Said, would you want to say your comment, please, and explain a little bit on that?
Assalamu alaikum. I wrote this note here when the question was asked about the countenance. I wrote, my recognition of the real source of the things that I am interacting with. That's what I understood from the countenance. And actually, this following note is a great note to complete it, the three aspects that Asim wrote it down. That was explained by brought up by Ali Mermer. I would like to read that one too, if that's okay.
Yes, go for it, please.
The first aspect of the things, or the aspects of the things actually. The first aspect, food is there for me to enjoy. Second aspect, food will go away. Don't trust it. Third aspect, food reminds me of the source of food. Food says, I am given existence by an eternal creator that is endless, eternal, endless, and limitless. That's what I need. That's what the human being needs to reach, I think. Thank you.
Hmm?
Thank you. Yes, good point. Really, it's all a matter of recognizing that the source of existence that is providing me with everything.
بشيء خالق
And
وجهه
I'm
وجهه
sorry.
is a great discussion in the classical tafsir.
One of the
So it's so simple when you read the risale methodology. So, yeah, you can teach even the 8 years old child. But alhamdulillah, I'm very, very grateful. Alhamdulillah, this method.
Thank you for your comment, Ali Marmar, about really getting acquainted with the methodology of reading the Quran, starting with my existence, the universe, and then from there going on with what truly satisfies me or what truly the source of my existence is. And is there anyone else who wants to say something? We have a couple of more minutes. If you want to share a comment or if there's something that you would want to go over, feel free to raise your hand. Yeah, I think the key aspect with the author sharing his reflection in this text here, this 12th hope, is really understanding like what truly satisfies me in my existence. And the verse itself, it's powerful. I think it's packed with lots and lots of meaning that one has to really apply it within their whole self. I mean, there's no denying that everything that we interact with in the universe, it's very joyful, we enjoy it, but just like the point that is mentioned here when Asim says that the food reminds me of the source of existence of the food. So my interaction should really point me to the true source of existence of everything. And yeah, the author is really sharing how, we go on in our daily, day-to-day, mundane lives, routines. So we have to keep in mind the true bestower of bounties, or really that the source of my existence must be an eternal one. I'm going to check in to see again. We have 5 more minutes. If there's anything that anyone wants to bring up. H. Beza, go ahead, please.
Assalamu alaikum. I wanted to, I was thinking about something we had talked about a little earlier, just in the form of some thoughts about how the fact that everything is subject to change in and of itself doesn't necessitate that the source is unchanging. But because I experience this change in a continuous manner, like every single time something leaves, there's something else, or the coming into existence of things from one moment to another, that's like all of everything that's happening simultaneously happens so seamlessly. And as you know, I can, as far as I've existed, as far as I'm concerned, things have been just coming into existence and being sustained in the most perfect manner, meaning that I don't observe any sort of struggle or hardship in the way that things come into existence. So that then allows me to conclude then the source must be one that is unchanging, or in other words, must be one that is absolute, that is not subject to change itself. But otherwise, it just, I mean, it wouldn't be human or fair to just look at change in and of itself, but as a clause, I guess, in and of itself, things changing, do they necessitate that the source of this is unchanging? But I think I'm inclined to say no by itself, but rather because I observe that everything as it changes is in its continuous motion of change, there being a sense of like seamless action, transition, or one thing continuously be, or things continuously coming into existence, being sustained at every single moment, that um makes me conclude then the source then must be unchanging. Hopefully that makes sense, but if anyone wants to highlight something that was incorrect in my reasoning, please feel free to do so.
Ali Murmur, go ahead, please.
I know we don't have much time. We have only 2 minutes left, and I appreciate H. Baiza's comment on it, on these sources being eternal and unchanging. It's right what she said. I agree. In order to understand that the nature or essence of source, not necessarily really grasp the essence of source, or whether it is changing or not. So we have to use the phrase, I understand that it is needed. We cannot say as it is put now by H. Beza, that because the things change, so source is not changing. No, that's correct. It doesn't really constantly make sense. But if we use this expression, the source of existence of that thing necessarily should not change, because source of existence means bringing things into existence with no help, aid from anything else. So just something appears in existence out of nowhere. So we understand that source of existence phrase is necessary to be used. I appreciate and thank H. Beza to remind this to me.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you all for your comments and concern. Beautiful discussion. So we can end here today, inshallah, and next week we can pick up on with the 13th hope and journey in with the author, sharing how he thinks the world is cruel, treacherous, and bad, and don't be deceived by it. So until next time, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana, innaka antal alim al-Hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you're all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru dawahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati sirra surat al-Fatiha. Ameen.